You give your bird the best toys, the biggest cage, you talk to them every single day, but what if the one thing you think is an act of love, that daily bowl of food, is actually a silent threat?
We show our love through care, right? And a lot of times, that means through food. But here's the question we really need to ask ourselves. What if the diet your bird seems to absolutely love is actually slowly causing some really serious harm? So, that gets us right to the heart of the issue. We need to talk about obesity in our birds, but not as just a little bit of extra weight. We need to see it for what it truly is, a life-threatening disease. So what exactly is avian obesity? Well, vets define it as a bird being at least 15% over its ideal weight. And honestly, it's incredibly common, especially in birds we all know and love, like Amazon parrots, budgies, and cockatiels, particularly if they're on those high-fat, seed-based diets and aren't getting a ton of exercise. So what's the number one culprit here? It almost always comes down to a diet that's just full of seeds. Now think about it from their perspective. In the wild, parrots have to work hard to find high-fat foods, so their brains are wired to just gorge on them whenever they can. But our pets? They have that high-fat buffet available 24/7, and their instincts just tell them to pick out the tastiest, most calorie-dense seeds first. And when you compare the two diets, the difference is just stark. A seed-based diet is pretty much junk food for most parrots. Yeah, it's high in fat, but it's critically low in vital nutrients like vitamin A and calcium. On the flip side, a vet-recommended pellet-based diet is designed to be nutritionally complete, giving them a really balanced foundation for good health. And the consequences of obesity are, frankly, severe. We're talking about things like fatty liver disease, where the liver becomes, as some vets put it, a deadly mass of fat. It can cause hardening of the arteries, painful arthritis from carrying all that extra weight, and even an overgrown beak. But the bottom line, it can tragically and significantly shorten your bird's life. Okay, so what can you do about it? Let's get practical. This next section is all about giving you a simple, hands-on way to check your own bird's health right at home. Now, you might be looking at your bird right this second thinking, they look perfectly fine to me. But here's the thing. A bird's fluffy feathers are masters of disguise. They can easily hide their true body condition. So just looking at them, it's not reliable at all. You've got to get hands-on. And here's exactly how you do it. First, you gently hold your bird. A towel can be really helpful here since it lets you feel your grip pressure. Then, with your fingertip, just gently trace a line right down the middle of its chest. You're feeling for a bony ridge. That's called the keel bone. The real key here is to feel how much muscle is on either side of that bone. And this is your guide. We'll call it the bird size O-meter. It's a super simple 1 to 5 scale. And here's an easy way to think about it. A score of 3 is perfect. The keel bone feels present but not sharp, kind of like the back of your hand. A 1 or 2 means the bird is too thin and the bone feels sharp, like your knuckles. And a 4 or 5 means it's overweight, where the bone is hard to feel, like the fleshy part of your palm.
Let's just focus on those two ends of the spectrum for a second. For an ideal weight bird, you'll feel that keel bone pretty distinctly, and it'll be cushioned on both sides by firm, rounded muscle. But in an obese bird, that keel is basically buried under a layer of fat. You might have to press down pretty firmly to find it, or you might not be able to feel it at all.
So here's the most important takeaway from this little test. If you cannot feel that keel bone at all, your bird has a score of 5. This is the obese category, and it's a huge red flag that your bird is at high risk for serious health problems. It's a clear signal that it's time to get some advice from your avian vet. Okay, so let's say you've done the check and you've identified a potential problem. What's the solution? Well, let's start building that foundation for good health by looking at what an ideal diet actually looks like.
According to pretty much all avian nutrition experts, for most parrots, the huge majority of their diet, we're talking a full 80 to 90%, should be a high-quality pelleted food. The rest? That should be supplemented with fresh vegetables, a little bit of fruit, and a tiny portion of nuts as special treats. Now, notice what's missing from that list? For most larger parrots, a daily seed mix is not recommended at all.
And this is what that healthy diet actually looks like. It's not about being boring, it's about being vibrant. It's a colorful mix that gives your bird everything it needs, not just to survive, but to really, truly thrive. We're talking brighter feathers, more energy for playing and singing, and a much, much stronger immune system.
But let's be honest. We all know what the biggest hurdle is, right? You can present this beautiful, healthy bowl of food, but what if your bird just turns its beak up at it? This next section is all about mastering the art of helping a picky eater.
First, it's really important to get inside their heads a little. Parrots are often neophobic. It's a fancy word that just means they're naturally afraid of new things. So that strange-looking little pellet isn't just something they don't like. To them, it might not even register as food. It might actually be something they find suspicious.
And that's exactly why this advice, straight from the Association of Avian Veterinarians, is so important. Patience is key. This is not an overnight fix. A successful transition to a new diet can take weeks, or believe it or not, even months of consistent effort. So please, don't give up.
So what can you actually do? Here are a few techniques to try. You can do a gradual introduction, just slowly mix a few pellets into their old seed mix and increase the amount over time. You can also use their natural flock instincts. Pretend to eat the new food yourself to show them it's safe. Or you could try scheduled meals, offering the new healthy food in the morning when they're at their hungriest.
All right, let's pull all of this together. A healthy diet is obviously the cornerstone here. But a truly vibrant life for your bird involves a little more than just what's in their food bowl. Look, diet and exercise, they go hand in hand. Wild birds fly for miles every single day. Our companions need that same opportunity. Regular time out of the cage to fly around in a bird-safe room is absolutely essential for burning calories, maintaining muscle, and keeping their little hearts strong. This is the goal we're all aiming for. A healthy, active, and happy bird. Like one vet put it so well, prevention is always cheaper and better than treatment. By providing a good diet and plenty of exercise, you're not just preventing disease, you're investing in years and years of joyful companionship. So if you remember just one thing from all of this, let it be this. A balanced, pellet-based diet, supplemented with fresh foods, is the single greatest gift you can give your bird for its long-term health and happiness. The power to make a change is in your hands, and even small steps can make a huge difference. So I'll leave you with a question to get you started. What's the very first healthy food you're going to introduce to your bird's bowl?